Happy Monday, happy day one and all. I'm so glad to see everybody here. We're going to have a great time, and I'm looking forward to the show today. We have a lot to talk about, and I also see we have a full house here. So let's just get started right away. I see Bjorn, Kieran, Zazel, who gave us a sticker here. I'll show that here in a second. Thank you very much. Of course, Jesse Hughes, I see Bill from Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Subscribe to his channel immediately. He's doing great stuff. Learned a lot from him lately. Keith Knight, I'm seeing also Ted Milich. I think that's everybody. I think yeah, we're good there. So Zazel coming in with the sticker right away. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Really cool for you to do that. You don't have to, and I appreciate that. I also want to start off by saying thank you to everyone for all of the support surrounding. Oh, I also see Jason Garcia. Sorry, pal. Thank everyone for the support of all the new content that is coming out. It's been a while since I've been able to really continue to just be really consistent with my content. There's a billion reasons for it. The patrons know it inside and out. And but thank you for supporting everything. And the view counts are great, and I'm getting lots of interaction, and that's because of you guys. So thank you. Keep watching, keep liking, keep sharing. I'll keep making them. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Jim Largo also is here and asked if I should whisper a moderator about the disturbing amount of tiger flowers. I don't think you have to. We're aware of the problem. We are working to fix it. And no, I didn't, Jason. I didn't forget you. I just didn't notice the thing until later, and I'm sorry. It's good to see you. So, let's get right into the news, shall we? There's all kinds of stuff. We have some updates on some things you probably have heard about, maybe some things that you haven't. So we're going to go through a couple different things, and I don't want to upset anyone. Bill, I'm looking at you. But I want to call this out because it's a confirmation of a theory that Bill had, actually. So right away, Wondar is already shipping, which definitely gives credence to the theory that he had that they already had these made. They were meant to be some kind of an exclusive at PowerCon or SDCC or something like that. And they're already shipping. So clearly they had a finite amount. It doesn't excuse the fact that they didn't make enough available for everybody or they're not allowing another wave of the figures, but it definitely speaks to the fact that, well, they should have, there's other things they could have done. So it's definitely something to bear in mind. And I don't know. Jason Garcia says, hey, did you see the new Mattel SDCC set? I think I have that pulled up, and if after we go over the news, if I missed something, you let me know. You let me know. Zazel got his shipping notice as well. Okay. All right. Okay. And Jim Largo coming in with the super chat says, no majestic tigers or Lego flowers were harmed in the making of this live stream. That's true. Truth. Absolute truth. Yes, Jason, I know what you're talking about now. Yes, and we are going to showcase that and talk about it today. Bill, I agree 100%. Yes, it's a bunch of bull crap. I don't like it. Because I guess that's technically still a pre-order. I'm like, technically, yes. But if you already have the stock and you're going to ship it within a week or two, that's an order. As far as I'm concerned, they already had it made. So it's a little weird and really frustrating, but I wanted to bring it up. Ian Sweeney is here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Speaking of Motu Origins, I want to bring this to everyone's attention if I haven't already, and I probably haven't. I haven't. Here we go. For those of you that missed out on Roboto, he's available for pre-order right now on Big Bad Toy Store, more or less at retail. It's $20 instead of $15. But if you want this figure, he's there. And you don't have to pay stupid reseller prices. You can pay a decent cost, get it, Get it, get it, get it. He's a great figure. He's hard to come by. Go get him if you need him at Big Bad. All right. So it's a little thing that I saw. There's other figures that seem to be coming back. Some aren't. Little shout out. If anyone finds a Motu Origins web store at retail or on clearance, let me know. I want a second one because I saw a really, really interesting custom idea that harkens back to when I first started collecting Origins. And I really want to get another one, but I don't want to pay $35 for one. So someone comes across it, let me know. If you can't get a hold of me while you're in the store and you see it, grab it. Obviously, I'll pay you back. We'll make sure it's all taken care of. I would appreciate it because I do want another web store. I have one, but I want another one strictly for the customization. Web store, not Webster, web store. Webstor. Melvor is here. Nice to see you. Whoa, 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 Melvor. What's up? How you doing? Nice to see you. Ben Stutley's here. Yeah, you're a little late, but that's all right. We're just getting started. You're fine. You're fine. And Bill saying, yes, web store. Exactly. Thank you, Bjorn. I figured you would, and I appreciate that. Because, as we all know, your Walmart has all the stuff I like. The dumb crap that I like, as a matter of fact. So, moving on, we come back to a geez, Jim, with the $10 super chat. Thank you. Says exclusives are especially difficult to track down here in Guatemala. Pre-order shenanigans make it even worse, but I get by with a little help from my friends. Thanks, everyone. No, thank you, because you're very good at communicating what you need. You're easy to work with, and that's awesome. So, man, thank you for the super chats. That's really cool. I appreciate that. So, getting back to something that we talked about previously, this rearing its head again, the Funko acquisition of Mondo. Mondo is not changing their tactics so far because now, to coincide with the He-Man that they have that was $250, is now a She-Ra that's $250. You know, that's a beautiful figure, but that's not no $250 worth of plastic for me. And it does, and it's like they know that the price is unreasonable because payment plans are available. It's like, come on, dude. It's not available for pre-order yet. It's the timed pre-order from the 12th to the 14th, so it's like a 2-day thing, which is okay. Which is better than the 24 hours they had for the He-Man, but I think it's a really, really limited, a very, very limited audience for this stuff. But it's interesting that they're doing this, so I wanted to bring it to you guys. I mean, do you guys know anyone? And I'm being legitimately serious. Do you know anyone that will collect $250 figures? Do they have other stuff too? They just have money to burn through? Like, what's the deal with Mondo being $250 figures, you guys? I don't know. Bill, I can almost hear Bill saying this. I ain't paying no US $250 for no action figures. I wouldn't either. You don't really sound like that. It's the best southern accent I got, though. Jason Garcia with an interesting thing. He says maybe she's anatomically correct. That's why she's expensive. Kieran Ball also saying $250 is too much, even if her dress is removable. Getting kind of creepy, guys. Ted says, is it 2 feet tall? No, she's 1 foot tall, actually. And Griff says, I wouldn't buy that for $250. Yeah, I don't know anyone. And Jason says, I mean, Hot Toys are that expensive. That's true. But I don't know very many people that invest in those either. Boba Hicks is here. Live long and prosper. Nice to see you, pal. You know, I'm sure there's a market for this, but I don't know anyone that these appeal to, which is why I'm kind of, into there. And Ian's like, I'd buy that for $1. I mean, I would buy it for $1 as well. I'd buy it for even for $50. It'd be worth it. It's a nice figure, but maybe even $100 because of the size and the detail. But even then, it's like, to answer your question, Jason, no, I have not seen the no, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen those at all. So, and I'm probably better off not having seen them because they're probably expensive and nice. Now, speaking of things that I probably won't pay for, but is interesting to me, is it may be interesting to some of you. It's not really a toy, but it's something I thought was of note. Clerks 3 is going on tour. They have finished the film, finally, and are releasing it in theaters, and they do just a tour with a Q&A, and I think tickets are like 50, 60 bucks or something like that. They treat it like an event. So you have your full movie showing, you get to meet Kevin Smith and the cast, and they have a Q&A at the end of it, and they record the podcast live and stuff. It's one of those unique things that, there's a few people that do this sort of a thing, but I think Kevin Smith's one of the ones that are one of the best at it. And I want to see this film. I would love to be at one of those kind of events, but I probably won't. But I wanted to let you know it's out there, and you can get those tickets through his website and hopefully have a good time. So if you're a fan of the series, and based upon the trailer that I saw, it looks really cool. And it's a little self-referential and everything, so it's pretty cool. It's interesting stuff, for sure. Keith Knight says, I bought my wife an 18-inch Mr. Barlow from Salem's lot, a custom action figure for 95 pounds. Excellent figure. There you go. See, and there are times and places when paying, and maybe this is part of the thing, paying that much up front for something that's like a modern figure seems weird, and the whole thing. So apparently the Viking figures have naughty bits and stuff like that. Now, I did come across a questionable listing on Amazon for 1/12 scale figures that I think are probably those figures you're talking about, and some accessories, shall we say, which are interesting to me. Oh, Jim Largo says, yes, you have. Red Sonja and Vampirella are on Viking Bods. Is that right? Is that right? Okay. Good to know. Jason says, I don't care what anyone says. I will go to see any Kevin Smith movie. I like his stuff. I genuinely like most of his stuff. And his movies tend to be good. And I got to be honest, when he was showrunner for Revelations, I thought he did a good job for what he did. It wasn't a perfect, by any stretch of the imagination, product. I've talked about that in the past, but I think he did a good job. And he's a good director, and he's a good writer. So I'm looking forward to seeing this, personally. Will McLaughlin is here. Hello, everyone. Jesse uses, fun fact, badgers are not the only mammals to have not watched Clerks. Fair enough. Driving home from work. So I hope you enjoy the listening as you go along. And Kieran Ball confirms he might be a badger then because he hadn't seen Clerks. And so forth. Blue review. I don't know about that. Oh yeah, Ted, there's a lot of weird stuff on Wish, and I tend to stay away from there because it's like a dollar store with extra cool stuff in it where you just start putting stuff in the cart and you're like, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get it. And it takes like 900 years to get it, and then you forget you bought it, and it's a whole thing. And Bill brings up an interesting point that I think is 100% true. He says, fat Kevin Smith is a different person from not fat Kevin Smith. 100% fact, because he lost all the weight after a heart attack, and he has a different outlook on life, and it's different. I can't dare speak authentically on his experience, but I've been following him through his podcasts for the better part of 10 years now. And overall, I think the guy's still funny, and I like listening to him tell a good story. But definitely a different person post-heart attack than pre-heart attack, and certainly different post-weed smoking as opposed to pre. So there's different phases of Kevin Smith. It's kind of interesting to me. Keith Knight says, I haven't looked under his robes to see if Mr. Barlow has a vampire-style Comrade Wobbly, his standby, or is that Comrade Wobbly? I don't know. Ian Sweeney says, whenever I see them asking $100 or more for a single figure, I just remind myself you can get an Origins Castle Grayskull for $80. That is a very important point. It's just certain things get priced a certain way, and it's like they make the same. They're made out of the same plastic, and some things aren't that much more detailed that I cannot figure out where they justify the pricing. Yeah, Tusk is one of my favorites. Tusk has a lot of funny moments. I think it works as a legitimate modern horror film. It's an interesting flick. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Kieran Ball says, we heart attack survivors need to stick together, but I think Kevin Smith sucked. Fair enough. Everyone's got an opinion. Now, there are those of you in the audience, especially myself, who is on this side of the camera, that have been like, where in the ever-living frog is the retro-carded lizard? Well, I've got news for you. It's coming this week. CollectorCon updated their banner, and it's hard to see, but in the grayscale here, he's in there. Let me see if I can change it to where you'll be able to see it by changing the gamma. So give me 1 second here. I up the gamma a little bit. You can start to see the outline a little better. You see that? He's in there. No question, he's in there. You see him? He's right there in the center. So that's this week. I've looked into it, and that's starting in a couple days. And don't worry, Jim Largo, I'm on it. We'll make sure we each get one. That is the plan. That is the plan, sir. So don't worry. I got you covered. But I wanted to bring that up because that's a very highly sought after figure for a lot of people, myself included. So I wanted to bring it up. And it is a Walmart exclusive, so you're going to have to buy it from there, unfortunately. Now we're going to start to get into some more of the San Diego stuff. And this first option, several of you sent to me. And I'd already seen it by the time you sent it to me. And we all had the exact same response in each and every case. Stranger Things crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the reaction was, what the fuck? These are 6-inch scale, new sculpts for the Turtles, but they're Target exclusive, which is dumb. They're available right now. You got the 2-pack with one with Raph and one with Leo. The other ones are coming in a couple of months, which is all well and good. But my big question here is, who the hell are these for? Like, who wants these? I want the Turtles, for sure. I don't want the Stranger Things figures. So this is going to end up being a Origins of Evil 2-pack situation. What's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of people buying these figures because the articulation on these is really good from what I can see. You can see the pins, right? So you've got some good articulation. The sculpts are great, comic accurate without being downtrodden. This is a great, just a great sculpt overall. There's some cool accessories that come with it, but I don't particularly care for the Stranger Things figures. So what's going to probably happen? You're going to see a bunch of the Stranger Things figures going up for sale in the box after these come out because people want the Turtles, and I'm one of them. And they're only around $40 a pop. They're not, so your 2-pack, you're paying $20 per figure, which is not bad. So if you were to turn around and sell the 2 Stranger Things figures for $20, you're making a pretty decent amount of your money back, and then you're only paying about $30 a figure, which isn't horrible. You make some of your money back, but then again, who's going to buy the Stranger Things figures? I suppose there's a lot of good custom fodder with these figures as they are in a 6-inch scale. So perhaps some folks are going to buy them for that purpose. But beyond that, it's like, I don't know who the hell these are for. And I haven't seen the new season of Stranger Things. I haven't even watched season 2 yet. And it's something that, again, it's just like, what? I don't completely understand why these exist at all. Because the fact is, if you put out something with this good of articulation from what I can see, the quality seems pretty up there, and you just put out a 4-pack of the Turtles for $80, to coincide with the price of these sets, they'd get sold like gangbusters. So why they're doing it this way, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And Jesse Hughes says, I wish those updated molds were on the TMNT Street Fighter sets. Exactly. It makes a lot more sense to do it in that crossover. Why they're doing all these crossovers, I'll never understand. And it's weird. Ted Millett says if the turtles go upside down, they won't be able to flip back over. That's right. It's very bad. Safety for the turtles. Hashtag safety for turtles. For sure. Old Cardboard's driving home on I-20. Awesome. Be safe. Enjoy your listen. Melvor says it's a really random crossover. You're not wrong. And he says no one will buy the Stranger Things figures on eBay. Correct. I think you're 100% right, sir. Absolutely. Kieran Ball said, someone made a shitload of Stranger Things figures that no one wants, so they're offloading with TMNT. I agree 100%. I think that they were tooling up the figures, and then they did, at the last second, they did some kind of a focus group or something and said, would you buy Stranger Things figures? And they're like, no, I would not. And then they said, well, shit, what can we do? And they probably had these turtles waiting in the wings and just packed them together just to try and to get these offloaded. It's just so weird. And Melvor brings up a fantastic point. He loves the show, and even he would not get these figures because what's the point of the action figures of that thing? And Jim Largo says, Playmate seems desperate to sell the new stuff, and they know that Turtle Power sells. Exactly. Now, the only reason I'm interested in these, as I've said, is that these are really good comic accurate looking figures, and they're an affordable price for what you get. So for me, it's a no-brainer to get the Turtles, but I'll turn right around and just offload the Stranger Things figures, at cost or even lower than cost, just to get them out of my hair. Because I have zero interest in Stranger Things figures, that's for sure. Pope says, whoa, now, you guys told me Daredevil was connected with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'm thinking 11 from Stranger Things was injected with the slime. You know what? The back of the box tries to say something about them investigating something in the city where 11 and those guys are. So it's really not what it is, but that's a very funny thing to say. Let me go over here. Now, let's talk about Mattel Creations again. Most of you, if not all of you, that may remotely be interested, there's a Mattel Creations Mega Construx, which is their version of Lego, Motu Snake Mountain. It went up for sale last Friday for $321. Now, that's a lot for a frickin' off-brand Lego set. There's a lot of pieces, 3,000 to be exact, and by all accounts, this thing is pretty ginormous. It's huge. And it's basically it's a Mega Construx replica of the Super 7 Snake Mountain, and it's like okay, whatever. Jason Garcia with the surprise says, not gonna lie, I want this set to go through Castle Grayskull. Well, if you're already into Mega Construx, this set makes some sense, and for the relative size of it, I understand the price point to a degree. But why in the hell is it on Mattel Creations? They're trying to say that. He said, "Well, the Castle Grayskull cost $150 when he bought that. Now this is supposed to be bigger, so to a certain degree, a price. I mean, I would even go as high as $250 for the size that it is, relative to the cost of the Castle Grayskull. Okay, but $320 for what amounts to a miniature set." That's made out of Lego that, like Jesse's saying, assembly not included for $321. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, and Melvor's on the same page as me. I'd love that scale Snake Mountain for 5.5 figures. So you take the same Snake Mountain, scale it for 5.5.5. But it's not going to work with the figures you have. Plus, it's got the weird jagged Lego look, and it really makes me worry about the future of a Snake Mountain in Origins because it tells me that they don't have confidence of Snake Mountain at retail. Now, I do think that Snake Mountain in the Origins line would be something that they might be willing to take the risk on. This doesn't seem to illustrate that, and I'm really worried. For this, it makes sense to me because of the fact that Mega Construx, although it does have a lot of people that buy it up, it's not the biggest market in the world. You know what I mean? So it makes some sense. Not a lot, but some sense. Melvor says it would fill half a room. That'd be awesome. Like if you had the you're talking about because the Super 7 one scaled well with 5.5. Jesse Hughes says maybe Snake Mountain's pending 2023 if material prices drop. It's possible. Anything's possible. The year ain't over yet, and there's still stuff to be announced. So you never know. And there's other Mattel Creations stuff going up this week that, as far as I'm aware, we'll talk about that in a minute. Bill says there is no future for Snake Mountain and Origins, and I side with him in that at best they're going to finish off the line. When the line is finished, that's when they'll release Snake Mountain like they did with Classics, and it'll be insanely expensive, and I'll be really pissed off. Boba Hicks says, I got to hit the hay, work an early shift this week. See you at the back of the replay. Boba, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your support. We'll see you soon. Jason Garcia says, I love the minifigs for the properties they do have, like Ninja Turtles, Predator, Alien, Terminator. Yeah. It's something where I don't want to collect every single scale of everything. And if I were only collecting Mega Construx, I would probably try to figure out a way to convince myself to do this. But as it is, no way. It's not going to happen. Ozzy, I'm not even bringing that comment up, sir, because we're not going there. And you know where that belongs? Belongs in the toilet or a toilet bot. These are a real thing. I don't know what the hell these are. I've never seen them before. They're freaking weird. And this 2-pack of them cost $110. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. I don't want to know. It's just, I needed to not be the only one in our community that saw these. They're weird. And of course, Bjorn wants one. I totally get it. It's okay. Yes, Bill. That's what I was like. What the fuck? Like, it makes no sense at all. But that's for certain people. Certain people want these, I guess. There's got to be a market for them if they were out of stock and went back into stock, I suppose. Keith's like, toilet robot toys? And I don't know if you know if you know where that property came from. I don't. Or if you're just saying, what yeah? And Steven's like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Great. Nice to see you. Sorry to inspire the bowel movement. Ted's like, gotta go with the flow. Is that a toilet joke? Keith with the Turdminator? Could be. It's 100% possible. 100% possible. Melvor, speaking the truth, he says, if they let me design Transformers, they'd probably look close to that. You know what? You're right. Ozzy says they'd probably be huge in Japan. Probably. Possibly. They're just weird. And I'm all for weird stuff. But again, I'm like, who's buying this stuff? Like, who's buying them? Because again, I've never met anyone that's into that stuff. So, at least as far as I know. What you do behind closed doors with your plastic anthropomorphic toilet robots is completely between you and your Godzilla. It's totally fine. It's okay. Bjorn believes that the toilet robots originated in Japan. You know, I believe it. Steven says, transform bathroom bots merge into flush shore. It makes sense, I guess. So now we move on into something that's a little bit different. For you people that are into customs and with that ongoing Hiss debacle, when this was brought to my attention by a couple people, Jim Largo specifically, I wanted to bring it to your attention as well. this vehicle is for 7-inch figures, or 6-inch figures like Classifieds and Action Force. And it's an original design. It's called the Honey Badger. And the Honey Badger is a pretty interesting little guy. It's all 3D printed, as you can probably tell, and it's completely original. So, as you might expect, the price is going to be a little bit high. But this person who's designed this is going to be looking into doing more vehicles in the future, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that I think he's going to come up with. So it's $100, a little over 100, and that's a bit steep for something of this size. But on the same token, there's a lot of value you're getting because you're getting like little missiles, and there's different pods and stuff like that. And he has all these different things you can do. So $115, okay, and $10 shipping. So $125 with plus taxes. It's a bit steep, but if you get multiples, he does start to drop the price a bit. So there's different options. There's different colors you can get, and it does, and that's this. If you're getting this specific version that has extra, like what's the difference here? So apparently you can get So you can get it for 100 plus tax. Comes with a box that folds out into a diorama, which is a nice thing. I'm trying to figure out why. I guess this sign was from Joe Fest. He was selling for 100 in person. So when you're ordering them over the net, they're a little bit more money. So you know what? That makes sense because they both have the diorama box. They both do. They both have the Honey Badger itself. They both have the mortar system, the same amount of shells, and a blueprint. So I think this is just a special pricing at Joe Fest. So you were saving $15 that way. I don't think this is a bad price, relatively speaking. That it's 3D printed and handmade and everything. And if the guy's able to continue to fund other projects, hopefully we see some price drops. It's very interesting, and I think it might be worth looking into. If you look up Honey Badger toys, Honey Badger's one word, toys is a separate word. There's definitely some merit to this thing. It's a very interesting piece, and I'm on the fence about it just because it's a lot of money, and I have other pre-orders that I'm waiting on, things like that. But on its face, I think it's great. I love the way that it looks. I love the way that it scales. It's a sensible vehicle in the sense that this is something that is relatively quick, has a lot of firepower, and could do some really cool stuff. So I'd be really interested, to see what you guys think. And if you're going to get one, let me know. And, I'd like to know what you think of it. Bill says it sounds interesting. I think it does too. Bjorn says, I'd get it. Desert Rat needs a ride. I agree. We get a desert colored one. And Newcastle, welcome to the show, says HasLab should make a classified whale hovercraft. Yeah, that'll cost $1,000 at the rate they're going. Ted says, had to pull off the road. All the bathroom talk made me have to go too. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Oh, we have fun, don't we? Now, Gojatron is not here. He has to work. But I showed him this in advance, and his reaction was, damn them. This is an ultimate Shogun Godzilla. And the pre-orders start in just over a week on the 20th. And I'm guessing that means it's bigger. It's the only thing I could figure out. I'm not a mark for this because I don't really like the Shogun Warriors Godzilla. It looks like a green gorilla with a tail to me. Never liked the design myself. But for those that have nostalgia for this specific piece, might be something worth looking at. But it's okay. So Garcia is saying it's 8-inch scale, so it's an 8-inch figure. So probably between $50 and $100 based upon what they're saying. It's interesting for sure. And Bill's like, "Gosh dang, I want one." Hey, it's not, but he will only be about this big, something like that, 8 inches. But it looks cool. for what it is. It's just not for me. But for those that are into that, this might be a slam dunk, especially if it's around the $50 price point. I think it would be worth it for that price. For those of you that are into that mold. Again, this is not my wheelhouse, but I wanted to bring it up. Newcastle with a good point says the Thundercats Super 7 Ultimates are terrible and a ripoff. And if they're not that, but again, for a 5 POA figure like that, it's hard to screw up a 5-point POA figure, but Keith Knight says, hey, don't underestimate 8 inches. That's fair. That's what she said as well. Steven says, the plates on his back are just small bumps too. I had the original as a kid. Fair enough. Yeah, it's not for me, but for those that like the design, there's several people, like Gojatron I know does, Bill's into this stuff. I wanted to bring it to your attention. It says the Ultimate's around $80. That's not horrible for 8 inches. Certainly better than $250 for a freaking 12-inch She-Ra. That's for damn sure. So it just depends upon what you're into, right? And someone did bring this up earlier, and I'm going to get right into it. Jurassic World has a 3 3/4 inch scale line that they've been pushing pretty hard. And as a Mattel Creations exclusive set, they are releasing probably one of the most iconic scenes in Jurassic Park history as an exclusive. You've got the Outhouse Chaos set that includes a special T-Rex. It's got the lawyer, Don Gennaro. You get a little diorama, and he gets to eat them. Now, I think it's an amazing idea. I think it's a really top-notch idea, and I think it's a really cool thing. But with it being on Mattel Creations, it'll probably sell out in 8 seconds. And this is something that should be on retail shelves. This is the kind of piece that ignites interest in a line that maybe isn't getting the attention it probably deserves. You don't put that kind of thing as an exclusive on Mattel Creations. This is something that you make a pre-order for that includes something extra special with it that you wouldn't need if you were just a fan, but as a collector, maybe a special box, maybe an alternate paint deco of one of the figures. Something extra with like lights and sound or something special. And then you put it out to retail a couple months later and you announce, hey, we'll have a less deluxe version available at retail, because this is the kind of thing that would get people to start buying these toys up in short order, in my opinion. And for this to be exclusive, I think it's a bad move. I think it's a really bad move. And that's kind of leading us into the theme for tonight. Jason says he's hyped for it. Bjorn wants the T-Rex. Keith Knight says, aha, and we're back to toilets again. And Flushore to the rescue. And Jesse says, ooh, I love the 3.7 inch scale Jurassic Park sets. Kitchen Raptor set look great. Exactly. Is that a robot bog? No, it's no robot. It's just, he just sits there in the thing. Bill's like, more toilets. I know. Yes, the theme. This is unintentional, folks. I'm only going by what they are announcing. All right? I'm not the one announcing all these toilets. All right? I'm not. I promise. This is not my thing. Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, I'm going to post a link in the chat from Preternia.com. And it goes through a list of everything that is scheduled to all the different shows and what you can kind of expect to be revealed moving forward. I'm not going to go through everything on this list. I'll just kind of go through some highlights. And so there's, some Transformers stuff. The 40th anniversary panel, which Pixel Dan and Kevin Smith are both on. That'll be interesting. Todd McFarlane has a Spawn panel that day. Diamond Select and Gentle Giant. Walmart CollectorCon is coming, which is the whole their thing they do every year with pre-orders or whatnot. You know, Mattel Creations has their own thing, and they're talking about the Chaos set. There's a Marvel Legends panel for Hasbro, Star Wars panel, some Motu stuff, a G.I. Joe Classified panel, and there's a bunch of pre-orders that are going to go up from SH Figure Arts. There's a special edition Kong from SH Monster Arts for Kong, which looks pretty damn cool, if I do say so myself. Looks like he's got the head ripped off of Mechagodzilla. Spoilers, which looks really neat. And for $90, that's in line with the prices that you pay for those figures. So I think that's great for what they are. Diamond Select's got a bunch of stuff that's coming out, like this bust. These are all already available for pre-order here. Bunch of great Marvel Select stuff, depending on what you're into. I will let you know that these Bruce Lee, Cobra Kai, Johnny Lawrence, and Dan LaRusso, they're all already sold out. I tried to get them earlier today, and they're gone. So I'm horrible. I hate to be the bearer of bad news on those, but I really wanted all three of those. And they're not there. And the price was amazing at $24.99. So, yay! We've also got a bunch of other things from like Factory Entertainment, which is like collectibles more so than toys. Funko, no one cares. Some busts from Gentle Giant, some Hiya toys. Now this RoboCop here, which is we've gone over this before. They announced this back earlier this year, which is a damaged RoboCop and an ED209, a 2-pack for $60, which I think is reasonable for two. It's a 5-inch. I think it's like a 4-inch scale. For $60, you can get those at Big Bad. And I did pre-order it. I might cancel it. I might change my mind, but it's pretty cool. And you got a black and white 2080 Judge Dredd and Judge Death for $40, which is nice and reasonable. Loyal Subject's got some stuff coming out, some Turtles stuff. There's a 124 Jada Toys scale Batmobile and Batman from The Batman for $50. And I don't know enough about Jada Toys, but that looks like a pretty cool set. So if you're into that sort of a thing, it's definitely coming. NECA, a lot of cool stuff, cool looking stuff. But you know me, I don't do NECA. But of note is this Dungeon Dragons Lost Wave 4-pack, which is pretty interesting. Definitely some stuff to look at. If you're into NECA, there's definitely some cool stuff there. Mondo's coming out with a black and white pen and ink Man-Thing, an animated series, 6-scale Joker and Batman, which are $220 and $235. So to get the two of them together, you're at $455 before shipping and tax. Give me a break. Like, they're beautiful, but no way. It's not happening. Sideshow Toys, also really high-priced stuff. Not my jam. But, you know, just to post the link again, just so you have the same links. It's pretty good stuff. Be safe, Roll Made of Cardboard. Hope you're all right. Seeing some love for Batman in the chat. And also, Newcastle says, all this pre-order, $1 billion corporation crowdfunding and exclusives is all BS. I agree, 100%. I think they don't need to be doing this crap. Keith Knight says, a lawyer, while shitting himself getting your T-Rex, where do I buy this? Mattel Creations, and good luck getting a hold of it. But you can certainly get it. It is a possibility of you getting it, for sure. New Gundam model kits, RoboCop love. Okay, cool. Good. So I'm glad that that was of use to you guys. Now, another follow-up. I'll just show you. The Cobra Hiss has 16,000 backers. They've unlocked all of their little things. And there's still 35 days to fund this. Now, this could still turn south, even though they've revealed everything. People might pull out at the last second. You never know. People might be trolling. I don't know. But it's coming out, and it's fully funded. And there's 16,000 people getting it. And what I believe this means is they go off of units and not on number of people. Okay, so I think that this is 16,000 units that have been sold. Now, if you do some quick math here, what does that add up to? So let's think about the fact that they're getting the money and they're going to sit on it for over a year. Okay, so $299.99 times 16,007. I'm going to bring that up on the screen. 4 million. Oh wait, you can't see it. I didn't share the screen. But I'll put the number in chat just to show you. But it's 4,801,939.93. That's a lot of money to put in the bank and get interest on while you're waiting for this to get built. Almost $5 million as of today. And oh yeah, they're not, there's no way we could ever put this in a store. Shove it up your ass, Hasbro. You absolutely put that in a store. If you're absolutely insane. It's disgusting. Like Will's saying, it's just absolutely disgusting. It's so disgusting. And I don't want to dwell on it too long, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention, talk some numbers, and just call it a day. But in the good news front, I realized, this one of the last videos I did was talking about how GameStop is changing up their CFO and how that might influence them to become lean more into collectibles and toys. And they do have a tidy little sale going on with their toys. And it's hit and miss. There's some really good stuff in here. If you're into the Halo stuff, they're doing like 20% off of these things. So they got Halo, and there's some different Pikachu stuff, the Loyal Subject stuff. But there's 11 pages of things. And there's some Marvel Legends stuff that's in here that's very interesting. Those BSTAXN foot soldiers you guys are trying to swear me off of, they're down to $15, which at that price it might be worth it, but I'll take your advice. I'll leave them out. It's fine. And there's like some Five Nights at Freddy's, there's some crossover stuff, but there is like some Marvel Legends, some Studio Series Transformers in there. Like you gotta look through. Just like anything else, you gotta look through to find the gems, and it's pretty good. So I'll give you the link in chat if you're interested. But basically, all you have to do is when you go to GameStop.com, go to deals, and then just click on toys, and it'll just show you everything. And some good stuff. Bill said, I went to a GameStop on Saturday, was unimpressed. And that's the thing with GameStop, is that it depends upon the location. I think if they unified their retail a little bit more, basically instead of having 4 stores in 10 square miles, have 1 or 2 stores over 20 square miles and make them bigger and more collectible focused in addition to video games, and made them into a toy store, that'd be a lot better. I think it'd be a lot better. Will McLaughlin says, I can buy a top-of-the-line Kohler toilet with all the bells and whistles for the same price as that Hiss. There you go. Toilets. You heard? I was just like, you can buy a scooter at GameStop? What? Yes, you sure can. And in-person GameStops are definitely a hit or a miss. But online, they're a pretty good source for toys, and they put up coupon codes and sales relatively often. So they tend to be a pretty good source for that kind of stuff. That's where I got my MODOK for $30. So there's definitely ways to get stuff. So speaking of MODOK, he's buried behind a bunch of those Marvel Legends figures. So we need to start filming some videos on all those and get MODOK out. I still haven't seen him out of the box. Newcastle, just put a Cobra logo on the Kohler toilet. Done. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So that brings us to our primary target. Like, what topic? See, I was already thinking. And it's why exclusives are ruining the toy market. It's why exclusives are kind of ruining everything. When something was exclusive, it used to be a special variant or a really artisan piece that has a very specific and small fan base that you could get. Something super special. And then as the years have gone on, they're starting to put like essential things at these conventions. And or they're putting them up as exclusives at Walmart or Target or Mattel Creations or whatever. And I don't like them. No, sirs and ma'ams, I don't like them. and it's stupid. The Cobra Piss. You're not wrong, Pope. You're not wrong. It's good to see you, by the way, brother. Bjorn is comparing them to mail-aways. Similar, because those were limited, but you kind of had, like, very few people that I'm aware of, like people that I knew, if you mailed away for something, you typically got it. Seldom would you not get a mail away, right? Very seldom would you not get those, from my memory. Um, and it's something that I think is kind of lost. And it wasn't where it was getting rid of it every 3 seconds. Newcastle's, when you flush the Cobra toilet, lights up, you hear Cobra commanding, retro! Fair enough. Yeah, you definitely can do without these things, for sure. Now, sometimes you have an exclusive that's super extra crazy special, and then they'll come out with it like a year later or something like that. For example, the original Motu Origins release was a San Diego Comic-Con or a PowerCon exclusive, but it had a really special box that had some diorama properties and some very special features that would not be featured in the line moving forward. It was a special kind of you're here, you see the reveal, you want one now, it's extra special, get one. And then they release them later. And in those situations, that's okay, because that means someone can get something special at the con, but the people that want them can get them later. We've seen this with Grizzlor in that line in the past as well. He's part of that Hordak 4-pack with the Horde Troopers in black and red, and then Hordak was in his blue suit, right? And then you had, of course, the black face Grizzlor. Well, Grizzlor is part of the retail line now with his brown face. The Horde Troopers are out there, and it's actually relatively simple to make a blue Hordak out of web store parts. Never occurred to me until I saw something earlier today. I was like, that's perfect. It's perfect. So that's why I want a web store, is that blue Hordak I want to make. They already have the parts. I was like, click, 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 done. Done. Super, super done. Steven says, exclusives are going rampant in comics too. Is getting sickening everywhere. Fair enough. Bill says, I like the old G.I. Joe flag points. I got a lot of free shit with those. Yeah, a lot of us did. There was some cool stuff out there. Bjorn says, whenever I hear the word exclusive, it means I'm most likely not going to see it. Mm-hmm. Pope says, how often do you guys see things from crowdfunding get reprinted or released later? When it comes to like Mattel Creations, we haven't seen anything yet. Same thing with Hasbro Pulse. They don't release them after the fact, ever. When it comes to the exclusives, like convention stuff, like that kind of thing, those tend to get re-released in like a less exclusive form with different paint deco, and that's okay. Like, I don't mind that. If you want to put out an exclusive that's super deluxe and then give me a retail release later, I'm fine with it. But the Hasbro Pulse and the Mattel Creations stuff, where they're overcharging and they're taking your money and just sitting it in the damn bank just to make the money. They just want an influx of money and say they sold out when they're taking pre-orders. It's insane. This is the thing. It's insane. Nice to see you, Rolo. It's good to see you, pal. You're always here with us in spirit, no matter what. Kind of crazy. So, at the end of the day, I just think that exclusives create a false scarcity for things. Even a retail exclusive, I can justify a lot more than I can justify this Mattel Creations and Hasbro Pulse bullshit. Because at least the store retail exclusives are making it to market, and you have a chance to get it on the shelf. And with our network of friends, there's very few in-store exclusives that we haven't been able to procure for somebody. I don't like it, but if it's like you can have one, you have to take one, retail store exclusives over Mattel Creations and Hasbro Pulse, but like abolish Mattel Creations and Hasbro Pulse and give me the retail exclusives. Because those, at least you have somewhat of a chance, you know? Whereas with this stuff, it just doesn't it doesn't make sense to me. And when you have something like this 3 3/4 inch special set with a great looking T-Rex and the lawyer figure in one of the most iconic and memorable scenes from the film, and you make that a Mattel Creations exclusive that most people are not going to be able to get, and that's something most people would want to have. Um, it's it, this is something that could ignite interest in the toy line. Same goes for a lot of the exclusives on other things, including retail. Like Jim saying he's still looking for the classic Martian Manhunter figure from Target. We pre-ordered those. They got canceled like 3 times, and it's horrible. Bjorn says possible good news on the superpowers front. There were a few shipping boxes around the toy aisle. Didn't really get a good look at them though. Fair enough. That's pretty good. Ooh, 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 ooh. He wants the superpowers. I want those too, man. It's definitely something to look for. And those are purported, to be Walmart exclusives. But as we see them roll out, they're somewhat accessible. Somewhat. And they're not in full release yet, which is fine. But when you compare that to Hasbro Pulse, which is way overpriced and tone deaf when it comes to the offerings, or Mattel Creations where they're, I don't know what kind of shady crap they think they're getting away with, but those things sell out in seconds, and then they put it up again just less than an hour later. It's like, well, you're not solving the problem of availability there. The model is just absolutely it doesn't even make sense from a greed standpoint, because if you want more money, you just take more money and make more toys. I don't understand why that's such a difficult concept for these companies to do. With the Wondar figure, we were discussing it this weekend in a Patreon chat, where all you have to do is take the Wondar figure, change the back of the card back, lose the collector box, and put him on retail shelves and let him sell. Even if it's a limited number of them, like maybe you're only getting 1 per case or like 5 per case of figures or something. So it's not a crazy, like, don't print them in like He-Man numbers. They're not going to sell that much, but make enough. Or say we're going to take a pre-order. We're going to take that pre-order for a week. And whatever is ordered in that week, we will make them. It'll take us, 3 to 6 months to get them to you, but you can have them. If they did that, if Mattel Creations did that with these figures, like Triclops and like the comic Triclops and Wondar, as we said, and then Koldar as well, who that one makes the most sense because it's kind of a niche figure, but have the orders up and print everything that you get the order on. It cannot be that difficult to do. Yet all you're doing is creating scarcity for its own sake. You're creating fear of missing out, aka FOMO, and you're giving it in forms of things no one asked for. No one asked for a collector's version of Wondar. Just give me Wondar on a frickin' card and sell it to me. That's all I want. I shouldn't have to go through hoops. And Bill shouldn't have to go through hoops, and Rollo shouldn't have to go through. No one should have to bend over backwards to get these figures. And if you have a limited stock, okay, but then put up another pre-order and make more. It's free money. You just say, okay, we haven't made any, we sold out of the ones we had, and we know you want more. So during this time, whoever orders it will take the money up front, and then you'll have it in a couple months when the print run is done. It's still not the most consumer-friendly model, but at least people would be able to get what they want. And part of the reason all of these things sell out so quickly is because a bunch of people that just have no sense of community will snatch them up, put them on eBay and other places to make more money, which free market, that's sure. But if this were something where they let you order for a week and they'll print exactly how much is out there for order, which a lot of companies do that, I think it would be reasonable. And I think scalpers would think twice about buying 5 of them when they know there's an open opportunity for people to get them. When you create a market that caters to the scalper and just does one of these to the collector, you're creating undue animosity for your company, your characters, and your toy line. I've seen people on Twitter say they were just stopping collecting Origins because they're done with this stuff. I'm not far from it, but it's a shame. It's a real shame. Apparently, Bjorn heard a rumor that the Superpowers line is going to get announced this weekend. Great. I agree that Hasbro Pulse and Mattel Creations can kiss my flower too. Roller says, well, it's a Walmart and Frank & Sons exclusive. The Frank guys seem to have awesome relations and awesome abilities. There you go. And Jesse's like, stop applying logic to my reality. Steven's like, stop making us feel like we're in the Superman 64 game. That's a horrible thing to compare it to because it makes me feel really sad. But you're not wrong, Steven. You're not wrong. Ozzy Rule says, I still haven't bought the new Super 7 Alice Cooper figure because the last time I dealt with the Super 7 web store, when I pre-ordered the Venom Black Metal figure, they treated me like crap. Customer service makes a difference. I agree. Venom. Love Venom. Great band. JC's like, gotta run. Doggies a walk. Take care. No, you take care. We love you very, very much. So, I know that I'm not telling you guys anything you haven't heard before or haven't thought before. But I think that if these anti-consumer practices continue, that you're going to see these toy lines start to, like their regular retail sales, are going to start to drop. And I don't understand why anyone thinks that's a good thing for the toy lines, because then they're like, well, apparently we always sell out when we do an exclusive and we're not selling out at retail. Like, whoa, I guess we should just do all exclusives. Then those aren't going to sell anymore. And it's just it's stupid. It is so stupid. And it has the potential to kill off the potential, if you'll pardon the double dip, of these toy lines that are just getting started in some cases. The Jurassic set, the whole Hammond line and 3.7 inch, 3.75 scale has a lot going for it, but they're doing these stupid exclusives of things that people really want, and I'm scared people aren't going to be able to get them. It drives me up a wall. Well, McLaughlin says, I got to run out to Walmart for some things. I'll check for superpowers while I'm there. That's freaking amazing of you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, possum. So I figure we're jumping through hoops. You're right. You're absolutely right. Hoops, 100%. Rings, 100% right. But it makes me angry. It makes me sad. And this isn't what toy collecting should be, in my opinion. And I realize I have a reputation for being an idealist, and I'll be the first one to say, you're right. I'm an idealist. Things should be better. All things should be better. But I feel like there's better ways to go about doing this in a way that's more consumer friendly, and the companies would still make their money. I don't understand why they don't think of that. Pope says, a little off topic, but I started collecting the Marvel United board game stuff with the figures, and so friggin' much is blocked behind crowdfunding exclusive stuff. That's totally related. It's the same kind of practice that just makes it difficult to complete sets and complete collections. There's nothing correct about that. I mean, even the Walgreens exclusives that are out there from Marvel Legends, for example, those are a pain to get. They're a pain. I've been very lucky and I'm very blessed to have the kind of job where most of the time when these types of things tend to go live, I have the opportunity to just order something. Um, but I don't get them all. And, you know, and then I see a bunch of my friends that wanted stuff and didn't get stuff. And it just drives me up a wall, makes my blood boil. Makes my blood boil. Um, it's, um, it's just not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody. And, and there's nothing that's off topic here, guys. This show is for you, to inform you, for us to have a discussion. So anything you want to talk about is totally okay here. Don't worry. You don't have to think, "Whoa, Jim won't want me to talk about this." It's not true at all. Bring up anything you want because we're getting to that point in the show anyway. So I do want to take a second to again thank everyone for all of their support as the new content's been coming up. And I also want to give you something good in that I am officially announcing my next feature video coming out this Thursday. It's already ready to go. It's already uploaded, and we're going to have the premiere scheduled right after this show. And that's for the Motu Origins Flying Fist He-Man and Terror Claws Skeletor review. It was a lot of fun to make the review. It was nice to get the figures out of the packages. I've got some things to say about them, and I really am looking forward for that video to come out this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you'll look forward to that too. Love you as well, Bill. Love you as well, man. Absolutely. Pope says, yeah, someone needs to start 3D scanning these minis so I can print them. There you go. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. All right, Bjorn, I'll bite. He wants to talk about Majestic Tigers and their impact on this community. Majestic Tigers is something you have a lot of fun with, and the impact on this community is they've created a meme in chat that has survived for several months. That's it. It's a private joke inside of our chats, and I don't think it will ever die because you're a Lego enthusiast and you like seeing me cringe. So I totally get it. But just in keeping, like if you're, I know I can just see him going, like, well, I'll tell you, I'll have him do this. Whatever, man. It's cool. I'll never own one. I really don't want one. I don't want to see it around, but it is funny. And every time I show it to somebody new, they're just like, oh my God. Melvor's reaction was priceless. And I think that's like the, peak Majestic Tiger was when Melvor saw it live on the stream. I think that was peak Majestic Tiger. No, Bjorn, I don't want the set because I'll never put it together. It'll stay in storage. I do not want that thing. I don't. The closest thing to that would be like if someone took the flower piece, little pink flower piece, and just made one like this big with a stand, I would display that because it's really about the flower. No one cares about the tiger. Everyone cares about that flower. So like a special commemorative 3D printed like extra big flower, that would be okay. That would be all right. And I know now someone's going to conspire and do that, but just to be clear, if someone sends me a Majestic Tiger set, I will never put it together. And that's a promise. So I have no interest in Lego at all. None. I had lots of Lego when I was a kid. I've looked at those sets. It's highway robbery. I don't like the branded Lego stuff. I think it takes away from what Lego actually is. I don't like them. And the Legos that I have, I'm grateful for. I'm proud of them, but I don't want them. They're just not my thing. Jason Garcia says, I hope they release a Majestic Unicorn. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Keith Knight, whoever thought the tiger could get pink eye? Well, there you go. He says, there's a guy that prints the Lego flower piece. There you go. So you'd have to just scale it up and make it a thing. Keith Knight says, Rocky theme tune now again ahead. Yep. Yeah, Lego's definitely, in my opinion, pricey for what it is. I remember going into a Kmart, and Lego even being pricey at the time to where you could only get one of those little box sets for like $5 or something. because they were just expensive. So that's part of why, as much as I loved Lego, I liked Construx a lot more. Not Mega Construx, actual Construx, which are these structural things. And I keep looking at those sets because you'd be able to make certain things with them and stuff like that. But even then, it's like, I just don't need them. Instead of the Lego logo, he just have it say Majestic in the Lego font. Sure, that'd be interesting. You know, see, we're talking about it. I hope everyone's happy. I hope everyone's happy. We're talking about it. But I'll be keeping my eye out on a lot of this stuff as we move through the week, and certainly we'll report back next week on what's going on. We might have a guest next week. I haven't confirmed yet, but hopefully I've got a few guests that might be coming on. We haven't scheduled anything, so we'll figure it out when it comes. Steven says, was that a hotel? The Majestic? I believe that it was. Somewhere in the world, I'm sure there's been a hotel at the Majestic. I think it was in Las Vegas, to be honest with you, but I don't know that for sure. Or a theater. Could be Majestic Theater. Something like that. You're right. Something like that, Stephen. Definitely it existed or exists or did and continues to exist. I don't know. I know that there was something like that at the Majestic. I think that's a theater. I really do think that's a theater. I think I've heard comics talk about performing there. So don't hold me to it, but it's something like that. Oh, the plot thickens. It was a movie theater in a Jim Carrey movie. That makes way more sense. Wow. When art imitates life and life imitates art. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Hilarious stuff. Duplo-sized flower. I mean, basically. Largo to the rescue as always. Damn straight, Bill. Damn straight. Largo, go to try. All of you provide invaluable information at some point or another. And I appreciate all you guys. And now, a tiger. Bjorn says, speaking of the Majestic, that's going to be the name of my custom spaceship when I get it. That's fair. I mean, keep the dream alive, man. Just don't put a flower on the exhaust ports. Like there's a limit. Like I've got my 2 flowers here on my mini me, and that's enough flower for me. I'm perfectly happy. Every time I see it, I think about you. I don't cringe. I just kind of chuckle, and that's enough. But I am not going to just have flowers everywhere. So obviously, at this point, we are well into the Q&A portion of everything. If you have a question, you want to talk about something, spit it out for the last 15 minutes or so. World Made of Cardboard made it home. Honey, I'm home. Welcome home. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Flower power? Maybe. Jason said, get a boat. Name it the Majestic. Paint the outboard motor pink. You know what? That's not half bad. That's not half bad. I'd never do it. But, yeah, I get where you're at. Oh, for fuck. Check Discord, he says. I'm not showing that. No. Just no. It's cute. It's an interesting solution. But no. The dinosaur theme song starts playing, right? Roman Cardboard says, the cost of Lego is why I started making everything out of cardboard and cardstock. Yeah, I can see that. Sure. And you saw him drive up your drive. I see. Yes. It's like live featurettes and stuff. It's nice to see you, Andy. It's nice to see you. Good to see you back here. No, it's not in my Discord. He just sent it to me privately. So I'm not showing it. Oh, see, Bjorn's trying to bribe me now. He's like, do it. Well, I appreciate the super chat. I really do. But no. I'm not. I'm not showing it, man. No, absolutely not. Ben Sully says the majestic flower night was such a good laugh. Haven't had that many tears in my eyes on a live stream before. Just fun. I agree with that. I agree. Steve says it's FOMO. It's fear of missing out. You're not showing us the thing. I'm not trying to like. All right, look. It's a 3D printed flower pot. It's a Lego flower pot 3D printed to be bigger than regular Legos. There's no pink flowers on it, but I can imagine if you want to custom order one with all pink flowers on it. It's a cute idea. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's interesting. It says, in all honesty, I could have worded that differently. True. All right, Bill wants to see. Well, if Bill wants to see, all right, fine. Hang on. I swear to Godzilla. So this guy you can pick any flower color that you want. They're removable. It works just like the Lego ones. It's just bigger. So just to show like the size, they're pretty big. So each flower is like 4 inches wide. So that means it's like the flower is like this big. So the plot would be like really big. And then you've got, see, these stems look weird without the flowers on them. And you got a pot inside there. And you put them all together. And that's 5 inches wide. So that's like this big, right? So it's a decent sized little piece. And they're 8 inches high. So they're like that high. So it's pretty interesting, for sure. But notice they don't offer pink. Purple's the closest thing that he offers. So it's a cool idea. And it is a solution to the whole thing. I will freely admit that. Okay? It's interesting. It's pretty cool. And of course, the jokes just start rolling in. Plus, you can just spray paint it pink. Like, well, I have to put work into this? And he's like, that's so cute. It is until you realize why he's wanting to send this to me. And Andy, I'm not going to explain it live. Just ask John. Just ask him. That is one giant butthole. There you go. Andy, that should give you a hint as to what we're talking about. But like I said, that's cool. It's something different for sure. It's creative, and I will always support creativity in whatever form it's in, for sure. Definitely cool stuff, for sure. But as we start to wind down today, he says, I would put in the work just to see my reaction would be like, he fucking did it. That would be it. Don't put that much work into something like that. It's cool in as much as like, at least you're not trying to just like recreate just the rear end of the tiger in massive scale. And I've given you that idea. And he's like, I don't know about the reason, but it is cute. By itself, without context, I agree that it is cute. But the reason it was being shown to me, not so cute. And I respect you, Andy. I don't want to corrupt your innocence. And I know how weird that sounds about Legos, but trust me. Just, it's not. Jim Largo saying, I'm thinking mounted tiger head in one room, the other end in the adjoining room. So like mounting it like it's a trophy. Yeah, that's fair. He's like, yeah, now you gave him the idea. Way to go. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Not my best move. Gonna make pink flower coasters for all the patrons. There you go. So since it brings it up, on Patreon we have a lot of cool stuff that goes on over there that only the patrons get to do. And at this point, I have decided that when I get unboxings, as used to be the policy, I'm only going to do one box at a time, and they're only going to go up as pre-recorded videos on Patreon. Whoever sent me something, unless of course it's a retailer, they'll always have access to those videos because they deserve to see the reaction. But when it comes to the unboxings, they don't perform well on the channel, and doing them in mass live, it takes away the specialness of it sometimes. So, patrons will get to see that. They get updates and all the content. They get to influence content. Every other week we hang out. The last one was over 8 hours long. We just hung out in a live chat. People were dropping in and coming out and doing all this stuff. It was a lot of fun. I really think we're building a really fun community over there, and if you would consider it, I think you would have a blast there too. So please consider supporting Patreon. It not to support me as nearly as much as to gain access to some of the really fun things the community is doing, for sure. And Kieran Ball says, great live stream, but I have to go and get some sleep. Hey, no worries, Kieran. Thank you for always being here. I hope you get a lot of rest, my friend. I really do. Mattel says, Grindhead Jim, has anyone seen a Tamiya Xr311? I think it'd make a great vehicle for 6-inch action force. Quick Google if you have the time. Trying to help you off the subject. Fair enough. Let me see what I can find here. Tamiya Xr311? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is a model kit from what I can see, and it's a remote control device. These are very expensive from what I can see, but it is a pretty cool looking thing. So what this is, it's a replica. It's a remote control vehicle. It's $400 US though. Might be available for less money somewhere else. But yeah, that would be very, very cool for 6-inch figures for sure. It is 1/12 scale according to this. Has a suspension system. It's very interesting. It's got a aluminum chassis. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Pretty expensive, but super detailed, and looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Jason fell asleep during the Patreon hangout, woke up, still going. Yeah, we were going for a bit. I was up to 4 in the morning, and should not have been up that late/early. It was a dumb move, but I had such fun with you guys, and we like to do that. Now marathons like that aren't always going to be the case. Usually it's like 3-4 hours of just hanging out. And a lot of times it's just show and tell, like, what do you got? People showing off toys and stuff. And one of the things that was a real highlight of that particular evening was that Rolo, Masters Mania Mexico, was around. And, I asked the guys, would you want me to bring him in? And they, sure. So he came into the stream and he got to put faces to names and hang out with a lot of the people that helped with the drive. So to come back around, Andy, there's a Lego set called the Majestic Tiger. It is a Lego tiger that's about this big, and it's a good-looking tiger. When you go around, you lift its tail, right where it excretes waste is a pink flower piece that looks like this. So when you see pink flower emojis in chat, that's why they're doing it. That's why there's all the emphasis around it. Everyone's going, so that's where that comes from, Andy. It's a whole thing, and it's been living forever. Yeah, Jason, I know exactly what you're talking about. Articulated Ninja on YouTube made a Hiss Tank replica. So it's Hiss Tank adjacent. It's not exactly a Hiss Tank, but he found something that's tanky, that's RC. basically you cut out the floorboards and the figures fit in just fine, and it's a decent little toy. Requires quite a bit of work, but the end result's pretty compelling, especially when you compare it to the price point of the Hiss tank on Hasbro Pulse, for sure. Keith Knight said, the problem with 1/12 6-inch figures is that to fit them inside, you need to get 1/10 scale vehicles. Exactly. Without modification, they're just not going to work. Yeah, Ben, there's lots of RC vehicles that are out there that can cross over with your toys. Analog Toys did a great video on a specific vehicle he's using with Action Force. That's worth looking at. It's a great thing. Zach, the tiger does not pee on you. I'm sorry. He goes, she knows it. I showed it to her. Fair enough. The eye of the tiger. The brown eye. Fair enough. How much to show the stream ender? More than I think you'd be willing to give. I'll put it that way. Stephen S. says, can we go back to talking about something more wholesome like toilets? The pink eye of the tiger. Showed the live stream where it was introduced. Oh, fair enough. Okay. You see them for around 200 pounds in the UK. The new Hiss tank is $300 US, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous for what it is. It's just awful. Yeah, I found your Discord. Yeah, I can teach you some stuff on how that stuff works. It's not as complex as it seems sometimes. But that's definitely something, along with everything else we've talked about, that would be a good thing to do on an evening sometime. We can teach you some stuff and have some fun with it. So, she giggled about it for a while. Yeah, it's funny for a bit. It's like anything else. And to be fair to Bjorn, there's a lot of jokes that I think are hilarious that no one else thinks are funny, even the first time. So at least Bjorn had a joke that was funny to begin with and remains funny. It's just okay, it's flower. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't. But speaking of the stream ender, it is time for the end of the stream. You guys are wonderful. You guys are amazing. I look forward to every Monday night with you guys. It is one of the highlights of my week. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at the premiere at the same time on Thursday of the next toy review. And in the meantime, if there are thought pieces that come up, I will be happy to do them. And there's going to be a special video coming out this weekend. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to making it for you guys. I love you very much, and we'll see you very, very soon. I hope that you have the best possible week in the meantime. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.